once again, the barbecue pit. We're back. We have the Ultimate Fighter finale coming up. It's going to be main event. It's going to be Giga Chikadze taking on Edson Barboza. I think Volkanovski and Ortega are set to fight on the pay-per-view that's coming up. Main card kicks off. Makhmad Muradov taking on Drew Mearshart. Mearshart is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, whereas Muradov has a sambo and kickboxing background. Both men have held middleweight titles before. Muradov in XFN and Mearshart in RFA. Mearshart is 32-14, 24-8 by submission, 6-3 by knockout. He won his last fight via submission over Bartosz Fabianski. He's 7-6 in the UFC, whereas Muradov is 3-0 in the UFC. He's got a decision win over Alessio Di Chirico, knockout over Trevor Smith, and then a TKO over Andrew Sanchez in his most recent fight. He is 17-1 by knockout. He's obviously going to come in with a better stand-up. His grappling seems at least comparable to Gerald Mearshart's grappling, as far as where I've said many times on this show, and I'll keep saying it, that a good wrestling background, sambo or wrestling or some kind of grappling like that background, is always going to defeat a great jiu-jitsu game. And Mearshart's got great jiu-jitsu. He's good at grappling. He's even a really good wrestler. But that combat sambo just adds another element to it. And I'm going to go pretty easily Makhmad Muradov in this fight. Andre Petroski will be fighting Michael Gilmore. Both men competing on this season of the Ultimate Fighter. Petroski came into the Ultimate Fighter 5-1. His only loss was a TKO loss to Aaron Jeffrey, LFA 93. He's got a 100% finish rate prior to the Ultimate Fighter. 3 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's got a submission win over Aaron Phillips, and then a submission loss to Brian Battle while he was in the Tough House. He'll be going up against Gilmore, who was 6-3 before getting into the Ultimate Fighter. 3 out of 6 of his wins via knockout. All 3 losses were by submission. And once he got into the Ultimate Fighter, he got submitted by Gilbert Ubrina in the quarterfinal, and then, of course, didn't fight after that. Gilbert Ubrina is actually fighting he's fighting Brian Battle later on this card in the middleweight final. Gilmore, I guess, a little bit too raw for me. Petroski, knockout power, submission artist. Pretty easily going Petroski there. Kevin Lee taking on Daniel Rodriguez, his second fight replacement for this card. I guess he was supposed to fight a few weeks back as well. That fight got moved to this Saturday and then was replaced by Daniel Rodriguez. Lee comes into the fight 18-6. He lost his last fight via submission to Charles Oliveira. That was March 2020, over a year ago. He's 1-3 in his last 4. He lost to Alain Quinta at lightweight, and then lost at welterweight to RDA. Went back to lightweight and got a knockout win over Gregor Gillespie. Fought again at lightweight, but missed weight in his fight against Charles Oliveira and was submitted. He's got 8 submission wins, 3-1 by knockout. He's only been knocked out one time in his career. That was TKO to Leonardo Santos. He's going to have a 3-inch reach advantage over Rodriguez, but a 4-inch height disadvantage against Daniel Rodriguez, who is 15-2. Rodriguez has never been finished in his career. His first loss by decision was to Victor Reina, 2017, and his second was to Nicholas Dalby in the UFC 2020. He's 2-0 in 2021. He's got a decision win over Mike Perry and then a TKO win over Preston Parsons a couple months ago. I think maybe April. Might have been early in August. I can't remember. But just recently beat Preston Parsons. 5-1 in the UFC. He's got wins over, of course, Perry, Parsons, Tim Means by submission, and then a knockout over Dwight Graham is also pretty impressive. Dan Rodriguez is going to come into this fight with an immense amount of striking power. He's got powers in his punches, kicks. Kevin Lee's always been known as more of a wrestler. He's shown that he can knock out a wrestling guy like Gregor Gillespie, who is the same size as him, he had a reach advantage, size advantage over Greg Gillespie. Won't have that against Rodriguez. He'll have a slight reach advantage, but the size advantage will definitely go to Rodriguez, which means he'll have more muscle on him, which means he will be the way more powerful fighter going up against Kevin Lee. And I don't think Kevin Lee is able to get Daniel Rodriguez to the ground. By saying that, I'm going to go with the first underdog that I'm picking, and that is Daniel Rodriguez via TKO against Kevin Lee. Another Ultimate Fighter finale fight is going to be Ricky Touros versus Brady Highstand. Touros is 10-2 going into the Tough House. 6 wins via submission. His decision loss to Boston Salmon on the Contender Series 2017. He was knocked out by Mana Martinez in 2018 and won a decision. Won a decision over Daniel Argentua in the quarterfinals of this Ultimate Fighter season, and then beat Ludwig Schulinan in the semifinals, which led him to this fight against Heinstead, who beat Josh Rittenhouse via split decision in the quarterfinal, and then had a TKO over Vince Murdoch in the semifinal. Before that, he was 5-1, 2 knockout wins, 2 submission wins, 1 loss via knockout to Chad Ingleheiner. I think just from what we've seen in the Ultimate Fighter House, I think Touros is going to come in with better cardio, more ready for a 3-round fight, whereas Heinstead is going to be looking for a finish early. In my opinion, he got the split decision with Josh Rittenauer. That almost didn't go his way, and then he knocked out Vince Murdoch in a very impressive win. He'll be looking to follow up on that, and I'm just going to go Touros by decision. I think that's more easily the Touros' cardio, I believe, is going to be the easier path to victory than Heinstead finishing a tough guy like Ricky Touros. Brian Battle, Gilbert Arena, the middleweight final. Brian Battle was supposed to be fighting Sean Gore. Gore had an injury. Coming into in the Tough House, Battle beat Kimon Lushkov via decision, and then he beat Petrosky via submission in the semifinals. Before that, he was 5-1, and he even had amateur wins over Impa Kansaganai and Coney Burdage, which both guys Burdage fought in the Contender Series. Kansaganai has fought at least twice in the UFC already. He's got 3 submission wins on his career prior to the Ultimate Fighter, and I think he's going to come in with a little bit of a size advantage as well. He's going up against Ubrina, who beat Michael Gilmore, in the opening fight of the Ultimate Fighter, and then lost to Sean Gore via knockout in the semifinals. His only loss prior to that was a decision loss to Sean Brady, 2018. Sean Brady is also another guy who has fought many fights in the UFC and is a UFC caliber fighter. This is a very, very close fight, and with Ubrina at such underdog, like 138, very close underdog, I would put some money on him if I were to be betting on this fight. But Brian Battle coming from very close, right up the street, North Carolina, I'm going to have to go bias and go Brian Battle. I hope he wins. I hope he gets a contract. I hope Ubrina gets a contract too. He's a very entertaining fighter. But for picks' sake, I'm going to go Brian Battle here. Edson Barboza, Giga Chikadze in the main event. Very well anticipated fight. Chikadze 13-2, never been knocked out in his career. Only been submitted once, and that was by Austin Springer on the Contender Series of 2018. He's 6-0 in the UFC. He's got wins over Brandon Davis, Jamal Emmers, Omar Morales, and Cub Swanson, just to name a few. 8 wins by knockout, and he's 38-6 as a pro kickboxer. He's a third-degree black belt in karate. He's going up against Barboza, who's a black belt in Muay Thai and Taekwondo, and a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He's comfortable on the ground. He's got vicious leg kicks. Chikadze's kickboxing is unmatched, though. I mean, he's got leg kicks, he's got head kicks, his body kicks, and fights. And most recently, we've seen a few times that Chikadze's Giga kick, I think that's what they call it, finishes fights, man. Early, first, second round. I could see him finishing Barboza. Barboza's tough, though, man. He's on a 2-fight winning streak right now over Makwan Americani and a knockout over Shane Burgos. He's a 17-time Muay Thai champion. in various Muay Thai competitions in Brazil. Just two completely different style of fighting. As far as striking, Muay Thai, everybody thinks Muay Thai, kickboxing, it's all kind of the same shit. But Muay Thai has not a lot of pressure on their lead leg, which leaves them very easily to defend leg kicks and even more easily to throw leg kicks. Whereas Chikadze, coming from a kickboxing sort of background, is going to stand as if he's a boxer, but have boxing-like talent in his legs. So the power kicks and the I would say more diverse head kicks and things like that will be coming from Chikadze, and just digging at leg kicks and unique straightforward body kicks, teep kicks, things like that will be coming from Barboza. Both men may try their hand in boxing. I think if it goes to the ground, Barboza has his way with Chikadze. That being said, I don't think the fight goes to the ground. So I'm going to go Giga Chikadze, likely by decision. I think Edson Barboza is a really, really tough guy, and I don't think that Chikadze is going to be able to finish him with, his body kicks, his normal boxing. I don't think it's going to be enough to finish Edson Barboza. Rest of the prelims pan out. Sam Alvey will be taking on Wellington Turman. Dustin Jacoby will take on Darren Stewart. Jamal Emmers going against Pat Sabini. Alessio Chikircho against Abdul Razak Al Hassan. JJ Aldrich will be fighting Vanessa Demaropoulos instead of Tracy Cortez, who was supposed to be fighting Aldrich. And then I want to say Guido, but it's not. It's Guido, maybe, Canetti. Will be taking on Mana Martinez instead of Mario Bautista, who has COVID-19 and will not be competing this Saturday. I think if I had to pick a sleeper fight, a fight to watch for on the prelims, I'm going to go Dustin Jacoby versus Darren Stewart, who Darren Stewart's normally a middleweight. He's going to be fighting a light heavyweight against Dustin Jacoby. Jacoby's another one of those guys, just like Giga Chikadze, who had an extensive kickboxing background as well into his MMA career. He's got a rock solid granite chin, and he's a great kickboxer, as well as Darren Stewart is more of a point fighting kickboxer, and he'll be going up in weight class to a power guy like Dustin Jacoby, and I think that's going to be a classic matchup of Darren Stewart trying to play cat and mouse in point fight, and Dustin Jacoby trying to take him out with powerful kicks and boxing. So all that to look forward to this Saturday. Like I said, I think, and I'm going to look it up just to be sure. Oh, no, we actually got some time. September 25th is going to be Volkanovski versus Ortega, because that is the next time that we have a pay-per-view. Just so happens that said pay-per-view will be at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. It looks like they got from all of October is going to be TBD. With the pay-per-view, 267 is going to be in Abu Dhabi, so wouldn't be surprised if we see October 2nd through October 23rd be in Abu Dhabi fight nights. But yes, that to look forward to. We'll be back next Tuesday to discuss September 4th, which will be Derek Brunson versus Darren Till. Crazy night fight. Paddy Pimblett fighting on that card, a little pussy motherfucker. I hope he gets knocked out. Not really too familiar with the gentleman that he'll be fighting. I think he actually has fought. Yeah, he's 1-2 in the UFC. All finishes. Every fight he has is a finish. Only 2 losses coming in the UFC. Paddy Pimblett, I know he's very far-fetched to think that this man, Paddy Pimblett, will be watching this video. I know my opinion really doesn't matter to you, Paddy, but dude, you got some soul searching to do, bro. If you think that being racist, telling people that immigration is wrong, getting on MMA reporters for reporting something that was clearly told to them by a fighter, and being upset that people are asking you, why are you out of the fight when you weren't? Okay, fine, you're still in the fight, but I mean, not a reason to go online and trash a guy like Marcel Dorff, who is one of the best reporters in MMA. Rant over. Fuck Paddy Pimblett. Come back next Tuesday. Stay barbecue, motherfuckers. You know what it is.